All right. Well, I just gave a couple of phone calls to Graham Clark, and there was no answer. It's not the only story concerning Dobyns-Bennett. I know that their athletic director, Larry Shivley, lives in Johnson City, and he mentioned commute as a reason why he resigned as Dobyns-Bennett's athletic director. I do, and he's going to teach at Science Hill. You look at the way the football rivalry has gone in recent years. I thought something of an underwhelming hire that really came out of the box when Graham Clark did leave. There's some questions going on Dobyns-Bennett athletics recently, in my opinion. Of course, the Indians are no longer the winningest football program in the state. They've been overtaken by Maryville. And anyway, I know that he's told Doug Fritz of the Johnson City Press, well, it's closer to spend more time with my family, the commute, all this, giving up the AD, all that. You are giving up being the athletic director of what most people would probably say is the most prestigious, certainly historically, athletic program in the area on your own dime. You know what I mean? And you can always sell your house and move up to Kingsport if the commute is up there. Just remember that. So there's something there at Dobyns-Bennett. I mean, and hopefully they can get things in order. I was disappointed last year. I've said this, that I did think that Gerald Sensabaugh got the shaft at David Crockett. I really believe that. And you see where now, the David Crockett, their coach, John Good, goes to Unicoi County. Things also at David Crockett. I mean, they'll have one more year of Larkins playing quarterback there. But even that, I mean, we were told by Gerald Sensabaugh on this show, who coached him, remember, and played in the ACC and played for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, Schuler-Dixon coming up next, talking about Jason Witten's comeback. And he said, you know what? Larkins, he can play in the ACC. Yeah. Probably going to be the all-time leading passer in the history of the state. And yet I see him making visits to MAC schools. And that's when you need a coach that has some ties to the big boys. To a North Carolina, which certainly Sensabaugh would. And a 25-year-old former Boone and a Bluefield College assistant probably doesn't. Got to look at that. Up at Kingsport, kind of see much of the same, See now a coach leave, and then after a year, he gets an offensive coordinator position in college. You wouldn't really think of it if, say, Clark was a younger man. Say he was 30 years old, or 35, or 40, maybe even 45. And you know what? I want to try college football coaching. The natural progression, go from being high school head coach to an assistant at a college. Wouldn't think much of that. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the way it goes. Want to advance? Certainly. But then you retire after you've been the coach there at DB for more than a generation. You produce the pros, and after 1 year, then you say, you know what? No, I think I'm going to go back into coaching and be an offensive coordinator at the Wasps. Emory and Henry. I realize college trumps high school. Sometimes, though, leadership trumps taking orders from the head coach. Okay, offensive coordinator, he puts in the game plan, I'm sure. And I think it's a great hire for Emory and Henry. Don't get me wrong, Graham Clark's a good coach, but what's going on at Dobyns-Bennett? That's the question to ask here. So hopefully we'll be able to get Graham Clark on. Hopefully we'll be able to get some answers. I mean, basketball, Charlie Morgan, he retired recently. There's been a lot of turnover there at Dobyns-Bennett. What's going on? And they're not winning. Only 4-6 last year on a gridiron. And even in the last years of Graham Clark, Science Hill passed them by. What's going on at Dobyns-Bennett? That's the question that I would like to ask. We'll also ask what's going on with the Braves and Bucks at 12:45. Atlanta Braves and Pittsburgh Pirates. they've been at each other. Of course, there was the brawl that wasn't, and I got to really hand it to the umpires, and I thought that they prevented a situation from getting out of hand. And although, by the way, the Pirates today, when they play the Atlanta Braves, they called up a pitcher, and they called up actually two pitchers, as a matter of fact, but one of the, let's see here, what do we got here? There was I got to get the starting, forgive me here. Anyway, they've called up two pitchers to sort of fill in for Joe Musgroves, who, of course, was kicked out of the game after throwing fewer than 20 pitches. Now, he'll start Will Musgroves tomorrow in a day game. By the way, Reds are playing the Indians right now, so we'll try to get you an update on that. Probably in a 1 o'clock hour, because I've got guests here lined up the rest of the way. But I applaud that. I mean, I really think you got to, if he's only throwing 20 pitches before the ejection, you can't wait the 4 days to bring him back up. That's just, that's not going to be the that's not going to be the matchup right there. But anyway, Pirates are calling up they're calling up a pitcher from the farm to pitch today, and I'm coming up there. Chris Archer, by the way, who was touched for 7 runs in 6 innings, and I think one of the reasons why he was kept into the 6th inning and allowed the 3 spot in a 7-5 Braves win yesterday was because, bullpen had to go 8 innings against the Braves in the first game. So you're going to try to go as long as you can with your starter because you're arm weary, that sort of thing. But anyway, Buccos are calling up a pitcher to go against Soroka today. And today's pitcher is Mitch Keller, who was a second-round pick of the Pirates in 2014, but has had very good minor league stats and minor league numbers. So, give you an idea, although he's lost his only start this year with the Pirates, and wasn't particularly impressive in the game, so far this year he has been able to strike out plenty of hitters. He's a former Bristol Pirate, losing 3 decisions in 6 starts back in 2015. So that doesn't speak necessarily high, but listen to what he's done this year at Indianapolis, playing with Science Hill's Will Craig. 5-1 in 11 starts, 3.10 ERA, and he has allowed only 51 hits in 58 innings. He's also struck out his share of hitters. If the world's slowest computer will allow me to get those stats, 74 strikeouts against only 25 walks in those 58 innings pitched. That's nice numbers down in the farm. So he gets the start against the ace of the Braves staff today, Soroka, and we'll see. So Braves are taking the first 2. We'll talk to Greg Brown about it in a few, but coming up, it's going to be Schuler-Dixon down in Dallas. He is going to tell us about Jason Witten's comeback, and he wrote about it. I'll be talking to Schuler-Dixon after this.